This might be a little bit depressing. LOL, it's so funny. Emotional support pillow. I'm feeling burnt out today. And come on, you wanna talk? I am working really hard at being self-accountable, reaching out to community, and being of service to others. And I feel like I failed at that this weekend. Like the intention was there and the follow through was not. And I think old stories have been getting in the way. Missy, honey, that's kale. Those are the grocery bags. What I'm gonna be practicing today is just not being hard on myself. That's not what we do these days. We're gonna practice grace. Oh, I think I might cry. I'm really hard on myself. I think most of us are really hard on ourselves. We, when in doubt, blame ourselves because A, it feels right to blame someone, and B, it's safer to blame ourselves than other people or things outside of our control. At least for me, that's what's easy for me. Because if I can blame myself, then it's in my control and I don't have to... Honey, I know. It's a safer bet to blame yourself. And if I can just do the right thing, if I just change myself, if I'm just perfect in every situation, then I won't feel bad and I'll have community and I'll get the things that I want and I'll be successful in building the kind of world that I want to build, building the life that I kind of want to build, and being the kind of person that I want to be. I have been really wanting to tell myself a new story than the stories that I tend to tell myself over and over again. Things like, I'm never gonna get what I want, I'm not gonna get connection because of my past, because of how I am, because I'm getting older. People already are gonna have their established things. It's too hard. I don't think that that's true at all. I think making deep, close connections with people who want the same things as you is difficult. And even when you do meet with those people who reciprocate how you feel and want the same things, there's a lot of life stuff that gets in the way, and it might not always feel good. I feel like I failed at being a good friend, at not letting my ego get in the way of connection, staying inside my body and not reach out and try to get validation from others. I find that I inadvertently am attracting people who might have the same type of story as I do. That's fine. That's not to say that everyone who's traumatized is bad. Everybody's traumatized, right? But it's like a specific set of things that have happened to people that I tend to find people who are also experiencing those or have experienced those things. I'm being vague because I don't really want to get into it. How do I shift my energy with other people while at the same time being honest and open-hearted and present with them? How do I motivate myself from a place of compassion rather than from a place of, see, you did it again, you can't do that, don't slip up, you did it again? That's not who I want to be to myself. That's not who I want to be with others. And if I'm that way with myself, I'm going to be that way with others. There's an edge, a sharpness to the way that I view other people's trauma dumping, maybe vulnerability that might be come on a little too strong, a little too quick. I met this friend who was new, a new friend. It was the first time that we were hanging out. They thought it was a date. And it was kind of apparent, and they were like kind of up in my space, and I kept putting pillows in between us on the couch, and like I didn't feel like they were picking up on my body language, and they were sharing a lot about what happened to them in the past, and they were talking a lot about themselves, and I have a hard time with that. A, because I think I've been there in the past, and I'm looking to change those behaviors, and B, because it's uncomfortable just to be on the receiving end of that. It's like, oh shit, that's a lot that you just shared. What would you like me to do about that? How? Okay, here I am, here we are on my couch. I that's a lot that you just shared. You know, I don't really know this person at all. I had probably seen them maybe 2 or 3-ish times before we got together. And I had initiated, and then they asked up front, is this a date? And I said, no, I think this is a friend date. That's where I was coming from. How do you feel about that? And they were like, yeah, I've been talking about my ex a lot, so I could like see why you would feel that way. And I was like, you have been talking about your ex a lot. Me having that reaction felt bad, because I was like, damn, if I was a good person, if I was acceptable, if I was being a good friend, I would be compassionate and open-hearted. And everybody trauma dumps sometimes, and you know what that's like. You've trauma dumped before, Annie. So like, can't you just be open-hearted and altruistic and like Jesus Christ? And you know, no, I'm not. Like, no, I'm fallible. No, I need some people who also are working towards stability. It can be discouraging. What I'm trying to bring more of into my life is being able to sit with others through discomfort, and when they're not giving me exactly what I want, which is like a stable, present energy where we're just kind of talking about life and our dreams and the more positive, exciting parts of life, and sort of definitely not bypassing the past, but not making the past, not reliving the past and recreating it over and over and over again. That's part of why I needed a break from this channel, and why I needed a break from like just telling stories of the past that it's just like regurgitating a story that I tell over and over and over again, right? Okay, so that was like on Saturday. Today, which is Sunday, I met with my coworker, and guess who joined in on the trauma dumping? My coworker started, and I was like, same, me too. Let me tell you these terrible things that happened to me. And I did the same thing that I was lamenting about in my mind, that I was judging so hard this other person for, that I was like, am I ever gonna find someone who's like stable and connected? I did the same fucking thing. I know my coworker better than maybe meeting this person, but I don't think that makes it better. I just think that means it's a different circumstance. That probably happened because that traumatized kid needs something from me, and I'm not maybe addressing something, or that probably happened because it's like a reminder that we're all the same. We're all the same. We all have shit that we're going through, and sometimes we recreate it because trauma's kind of addicting. Now I'm like, oh God, like I did that thing that I hate. Why did I do that? Does any of this sound relatable to anybody who's watching this? Because I just think that I don't think it's just me, and I don't think it's just these people that I'm hanging out with. I think this is something I see in myself, in strangers, and it's something that I really want to shift. And I'm not fully certain how to do that, but I know that I am committed to it. And I know that I don't want to blame myself, because I don't think that blaming myself is going to get me out of this habit. Blaming myself is not going to be productive. It's going to be more pain. It's going to be a better breeding ground for me to continue reminding myself what a terrible childhood I had and blah, 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 blah. It really goes along with like the pain body in Eckhart Tolle's A New Earth. Now, caveat for anyone who's read that book, it's a little infuriating. It's basically this older boomer white man who basically one day realized he was one with the universe and was present and found it to be euphoric and never went back, and sat on a bench for a year just unbelievably happy. And now his life has changed, and he's telling everyone what he has magically basically figured out. Sorry, Missy's like having a rough time. It's hard to stomach that type of rhetoric, but something that really resonates with a lot of people, because it's true. And perhaps he's got it all right, you know? Perhaps he is correct in everything. I think to take that book and all of his writing with a grain of salt. The one thing that I think a lot of people have really resonated with is the chapter on the pain body. I guess the way that I kind of think about it is like this energy, this kind of like dark force cloud that attaches itself to other people. And in our minds, we can attach it to anything. Like, well, the pain body can attach to our past trauma, right? It can attach to our judgment in other people. It can attach to us through physical pain. The pain body wants to be fed with more pain, and it's sort of never enough. And it's this type of addiction to pain that the human species has. You don't have to be a victim to the pain body. You don't have to continue and perpetuate these stories. And like, I don't think that that means you can spiritual bypass working through your trauma. I don't think that that's what it means. But I think that the pain body is real. I find myself sometimes feeling addicted to my pain. It can feel good in a way. I saw that this weekend in other people and in myself, whether I liked it or not. I saw the pain body rearing its ugly head. And that's really hard. I don't think the answer is pushing people away, because I think that's also been a strategy for me, is pushing people away who also are addicted to their pain body in the same way. I don't think that that's necessarily a sustainable or healthy answer. And it's definitely not going to get me connection and community, because everybody's got it. So if I push everyone away who's addicted to their pain body, I'm pushing everybody away. And of course, I'm attracting people who have similar stories to me. That makes sense. Of course. How can I move through this? What would Eckhart Tolle say? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what Eckhart Tolle would say. What would my therapist say? She would kind of like shrug and be like, can you let it go? Can you let it go? Sure. You got caught up in your pain body. Okay. Can you let that go? Yeah. I think I can. Today, I think I can. I think I'm going to make some food about it to prep myself for the week. I think I'm going to listen to the rest of The Pattern Master by Octavia Butler and finish that series. It's so good. I think I'm gonna spend time with my cat, who is having a hell of a time with her hyperthyroidism or whatever's going on with her. I hope to journal a little bit, and I'm gonna post this video. And hopefully it will resonate with some of you who might be struggling with the same thing. Life is long. I've been telling myself that and telling other people that lately. Life is long. And there are other versions of me in the future who feel more settled, who have more experience with letting the pain body go and choosing a different narrative. Because really, it is true that all we can control is our perspective. I know that's not really popular, and it can sound really spiritual, bypassy, think yourself out of oppression. That's not what I mean. I mean, I'm not really that oppressed right now. Not in a really tangible way that a lot of other people are, in a lot of different areas of the country and in different areas of the world, and in the city that I live in as well. I'm not in the same way. And sure, I was back in the day, but that's not the present moment. The present moment is I live in a beautiful, curated, cute apartment. I have a lovely cat who is still alive. Thank the good fucking Lord. Just kidding. I'm sorry if that triggered anybody. I love doing the sign of the cross. I didn't grow up with it, but I just think it's so fun. My friend jumped my car and now it's running, and hopefully I'll be able to take it to the mechanic tomorrow. I got some beautiful fresh veggies that I'm going to turn into a salad and nourish my body. I have so many beautiful things that I can do, so many activities that I have. I've got paints, I got books, I got records, I got tarot cards, I got fucking the internet. I have so many fun things at my disposal that I can do tonight, and I have a beautiful community that I hopefully am building with all of y'all, and that's a positive. And those are things that I want to write down and be grateful for, because I do think community is out there, and I do think I'm responsible for building it for myself. I'm responsible for building my own reality. I know that sounds a little woo-woo, but I genuinely believe that. How can I build my reality with compassion for myself and compassion for others? And whenever I notice that I'm being drawn into my pain body, go, oh, we don't want to do that. We don't have to do that. Without hatred for myself, for my depraved, decrepit, goblin self that just wants to swim in my pain, pick that little baby up and say, oh, baby, I know, but we're not gonna do that anymore. Get on my back. Let's go make a kale salad. Because that's all we can do. Hopefully this wasn't too depressing. Hopefully it was rather hopeful and a good reframe, because it's helping me reframe my weekend. I'm going to continue to show up better for people, myself included. Growth doesn't always feel good. And life is long. I'll see you tomorrow.